I love me a good horror movie, and the question is this a good one? Hello everyone and welcome to IMRT Reviews. I am RT and today we're doing a non-spoiler review of The Night House, so let's get straight into it. Directed by David Bruckner and stars Rebecca Hall as Beth, the film is about our main character Beth dealing with her husband's death and all the strange occurrences that happen after it. I'm going to be very vague with the plot, that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to give anything away. This movie is visually stunning and the camera work in this movie adds a lot to the scares and the tension of this film with disorientating camera work that made you think, oh, where am I going? I don't know what we're looking at. Very, very cool stuff, and it slowly built up to big, scary reveals. And I've got to say, the camera work added a lot to the scares and tension of this movie. As I was saying, the camera work is very clever in this movie and how it adds to the tension and the scares. The house itself in this movie is kind of like a character. Obviously, it's set in this in a house. I mean, like it goes outside of the house, but it's mainly set in this house. And there's a big theme of confusion in the movie. And the way the camera works, it disorientates you, it confuses you, adds to this theme. And when Beth enters a room, we see her before we see her perspective. We don't see anything in the room apart from her. And then it steadily builds up because if she's walked into a room and she's shocked, we're like, oh, what is she shocked at? It's a very clever decision. I liked it a lot. The camera work isn't all perfect though, as there are some what I'm going to call pretentious shots where the camera will just linger on nothing for far too long, such as like trees, chimes, the lake, and I'm like, as much as this does look nice, it doesn't add anything, it's not progressing it, and it just slowed down the pace of the first act. I think if you took those out, the pacing of the first act would be greatly improved, as after the first act happens and you get rid of all these pretentious shots, the film kicks into sixth gear and it's a whale of a time. The first half of this movie has incredible tension that isn't ruined by predictable jump scares, and the jump scares in this movie are used very sparingly, but extremely, and I mean extremely effectively. The way to build an effective jump scare is, as I said, 1, don't make them predictable, and 2, put them in when the audience feels safe. Attack the safety that we feel in the cinema, you know, when something's happening, you're like, oh, it's safety now. I'm feeling safe from all the terrifying things. Put one in, you know? Oh, God. Don't attack the safety, and it leaves us feeling vulnerable for the rest of the movie. Attack it. Make us feel vulnerable. And I will say, the jump scares are so good in this movie, and one of them literally made me jump out my seat. Let's have a short reenactment. Oh, this is nice. I feel safe now. Oh, Jesus! That was me in the cinema. And these jump scares left a lasting effect. Like I said, I felt vulnerable in the cinema. I was like, please don't make me jump again. I was sitting there like, jump scare's coming now. It's coming now. They never came. He didn't use predictable ones. And I was like, when's the next one coming? And it was a great feeling. The second act of this movie is a lot of the mystery of the movie unfolding. So the horror does take a little bit of a step back. But I didn't mind it as much because the mystery is so interesting, and the first and third act were scary. So I didn't mind it as much because you had your scares in there, but you also had this mystery unfold, and it was interesting, so I didn't mind it. The final act does have less built-up tension, but it has very chilling moments to make up for that. And there was one moment where I was like, I know what's coming, but as soon as you actually hear it and it's confirmed, I was like, oh. That gives me the chills, and there's some very chilling imagery on screen as well that I really did enjoy, and there's a big variety of scares. You've got your jump scares, you've got the tension-filled moments, and you've got chilling moments. This film has it all. And as I said earlier, the plot is very interesting. The whole mystery in this film is extremely interesting, and it's not a simple story. You really have to pay attention when watching this film, analyze everything that's going on screen to find out the hidden meanings behind the things that we're watching on screen, and I really did enjoy it. These are my favourite type of movies when I want to sit there and think and discuss afterwards, and I had a lot of fun discussing this movie afterwards, and I was very excited to do this review because of it. If you love horror movies like Hereditary, then I think you'll love this movie, as it's one of those ones that you just have to analyse and discuss. I just wanted to go home and watch analysis videos on the internet afterwards. That's an awesome feeling. That's what I did with Hereditary as well. So if you did like Hereditary, I think you will like this movie as well. Rebecca Hall was brilliant in this movie. I really hope we get to see her in more leading roles after this film. Her character goes through a lot in this movie and she sells every single moment. It truly was a brilliant performance. Maybe an Oscar nomination performance. I'm not sure if like an Oscar winning performance like Toni Collette's Hereditary performance should have been, but it was a very good performance that deserves a lot of praise. I'm excited to see what David Bruckner makes next as well, as this was a really good horror movie. I mean, I'm going to be buying it straight away when it comes out on Blu-ray, maybe even in 4K. Who knows? Probably get the Steelbook actually. I've got Hereditary on Steelbook. I think this should be bought on Steelbook if they release one. And this, like I said, this is a great horror movie and I'm excited to see what he does next. I'll be excitedly waiting and I'll be checking out whatever he makes next as soon as it comes out. So overall, I think The Night House was an incredible time at the cinema with plenty of scares and incredible filmmaking on show. I think it's just going to be one of those movies that gets better over time with multiple viewings because there's so much to analyze and that's what I love. So I'm going to be buying it on Blu-ray and watching it over and over to see what I missed, and that's great. So I guess the question is, would I recommend this movie? I would highly recommend this movie, so please let me know down in the comments below if you will be checking this movie out. If you did enjoy this review, please give it a like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.